Hello and welcome to Leashed Dad's podcast. That's Justin.
That's Jared. Why am I always drinking in the middle of it?
We are two leashed dads that get together to discuss our everyday lives while drinking our beverages when the kids
Water.
go to sleep. Well, his is water,
Fine.
so is mine. Uh, was at a wonderful wedding this weekend, and I need to take some time off from the sauce. So,
I'm
yeah,
off from the sauce, man.
yeah, because I remember last time we did a show, and the night before Thanksgiving, and I was like 4 deep. So,
Oh.
yeah. Anyway, tonight's episode, we are ranking our top. Well, mine aren't really ranked in terms of like importance and or likeness. They're more just top 5 ways that you can connect with your children. Uh, JJ might have his ranked. Oh, look at that! Oh, old school.
No, that's not old school.
That looks like you.
But that's not me. Do you know who that is? Sean. He's back.
He looks like you.
Yeah,
He's back.
he's back.
Nice.
He came
Big
back.
news, man.
Yeah, I was going to share it last week, but something had happened. People were sick. Had to take care of the sick children. But yeah, big news before we start the top ranking here. For all of those who care or know, in the past we have talked about it. Where Sean was not part of my life for 4 years. Quite literally 4 years back here in November. However, he had recently gotten a phone and he reached out to me. And then we started talking. And then on Thanksgiving Day, he reached out, wanted to come over for Thanksgiving. And sure enough, I told him yes, but we're going down to Milwaukee. Like I was trying to, be mindful or have him be mindful that, hey,
Yeah.
this is going to be a lot going on if you come, I want, possibly take baby steps with you. Basically, in my head, like I want to take baby steps with him. I don't want to rush him into anything. He was okay
Right.
with coming down to Milwaukee and seeing family again.
Cool.
It's almost like and then he stayed that weekend. And the big update here is I basically will have him every single weekend, and for the foreseeable future.
Wow.
So not during the weekdays when he's got school or anything, but like from Friday to Sunday, I will have him. So it's
Is
a
it
huge
settled
update.
outside of the court system, or is it
Yes, it was settled
on the
outside of the court
nosy?
system. Nope,
Okay.
outside. So, actually not dealing with his mom. I've been dealing with his mom's boyfriend. So it's slightly different, but it's it works. It's awesome. He's happy. It's almost like he rekindled with his brothers, and it's like they haven't missed a beat.
Oh yeah. I bet. Yeah.
Which I mean,
I could see
granted,
that.
that's yeah. And then of course he met his sister, and oh my goodness, there is no resentment or anything. He actually adores her, and he like when I put her down for bed every now and then, obviously he'll say goodnight to her and everything. So, um, I want to see where this continues to go. He's already planning on coming with us for Christmas Eve down to Milwaukee. And then probably spend some time with us on Christmas Day before I take him back to his mom's, so they can spend some time and whatnot. And then he also wants to come over on his birthday, which, granted, we're looking in April here, deep in April already, like middle, first 4 months of April, but he
Right.
wants to come over and spend time with us. So it's good. It's good stuff.
It's good. Really good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
When I first picked him up and everything, it was extreme emotions, like mixed emotions all over the place and everything. And I'm here, there, everywhere. Didn't know how to feel. I almost started crying in front of him, and
Oh, you should have.
it just felt good to have that he decided to come back on his own terms.
And it
So
really is his own terms. I mean, you could tell
yes.
that he has invested interest back in your life, and that's great.
hmm Exactly. And I have invested interest, and uh, on Tuesday here, last week Tuesday, we ended up going to, like, his grandma and his brothers and I went to his band concert. He plays percussion.
Drums.
Just like anything that's percussion, so like triangles, the
Oh, okay.
you know, the that type of band
Yep.
percussion, not like actual drums. But yeah, so it's all it's all fun, and he's probably gonna come with me to Kane's first wrestling tournament on Sunday today when this episode airs.
Awesome, man.
So yeah, it's good stuff. So, but that's what I wanted to break because I just
Wow.
thought it was great news, and I know you'd get a kick out of it after having dealt with some dark episodes in the past about it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you.
You know? Hopefully everybody else is happy too, or
You
just
and
like
Sean.
cheering. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
It's great stuff. It's gonna be the talk of the year for me, honestly. No matter where I go, and it's like, yeah, he's back, and it's great. So it feels good. But shall we carry on to the real thing at hand?
Let's do it,
The
man.
top 5 ways to connect. That's what we called it, right? Top 5 ways to connect with our children.
Yep.
And I know you said you didn't really have like a
They're not ranked as far as like
priority.
number one. This is the best way to do it. No, it's just 5 ways to connect with your kids.
Yeah, 5 thoughtful ways. So not really a top 5, but more or
Nope.
less the 5 things that we
Recommend.
may have. I wouldn't even say recommend, but what we would do to connect with our children. The 5 things that come to our minds when we think about connecting with our children.
Yeah.
We can recommend that you try these and see if that helps if you're struggling to connect or looking to connect in different ways, um, or something you haven't thought about. So let's get down to business, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. I'm gonna start with my number 5. I did kind of go off of. I know you said that yours isn't really like any priority or like this is the number one thing I recommend doing. Um, this one is kind of lower on my priority though, or what I would say is not exactly the best way, but nor I mean it's still one of those things that I do to connect with my children, and it's play video games. Spending that time with them in regards to electronics or video games, things like that. That's how I can, that's how we can connect with them sometimes. Um, but playing video games, even if it's just for a little bit or whatnot, or whatever type of video game it may be.
Would you consider board games in that as well? Or is
Actually,
that separate on your list?
that was separate
Okay. Okay. Never mind then.
because I
Because
actually have that
my
as my
number
number
four
4.
my number 4 is games, but I didn't really want to specify whether it was board or video.
Gotcha.
So no, games, folks, is definitely it's a good one. I think it's a good solid. Whether it's video or board, you're still competing with or competing against each other, and just the goal is to have fun. Maybe for an egotistical dad, it's to win against your kid, or have your kid try to win against you, kind of thing. I'm not into that kind of stuff, but if you are, you're still hopefully in a meaningful way connecting with them and not making your child feel bad or inadequate in any way,
I agree,
because that would
and
be toxic.
that would not. That's only going to teach them to be toxic in the long run too, or make
Yeah.
their children feel inadequate when they start playing games. Now, by all means, when I play with them and everything, I don't go easy on them.
Well,
I don't
same.
pull my punches. I go, you got to win. You actually got to win. I'm
Yeah.
not going to let you always win, or get a freebie or anything like that. Now, and then again, there are some other games that in the long run, I still try and I still get my butt handed to me.
Yeah.
But you know, Yeah. So no, I'd say, video games. I do have board games as like number 4, just to be a little more specific on like, you weren't necessarily going for specifics when you had your number 4, but or games listed. But I think for board games, you could definitely be more family oriented as well.
Yep.
Not just have to be kids, but it's always
More
a great way to
talking
spend
to.
more talking. Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes with video games, you're not necessarily going to be, well, you'll still communicate, but you're more focused on what's in on the screen in front of you rather than who's next to you and everything.
Hmm.
So that's kind of why I separated them too. It's because you may be in the same room, but you're not always talking to each other unless sometimes it's like a little banter or um, something something of good nature.
Yeah.
But unlike board games, you can definitely talk to them.
Right. Number 5 for me would be kind of like chores. It would be an
Ew.
activity to do together where you're talking as well as teaching, a teaching moment as well.
There you go. I like that one. That's pretty solid.
It's a life lesson kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like you're entwining life lessons and connecting with children that way. I still struggle to get my kids to do their chores on a daily basis. Got to remind them to do it, but they're
Yeah.
kids, so um, and I think our these generations of children are becoming more and more lazy. I remember doing chores and actually doing them when we're, you know, given a list or whatnot. Sometimes, yes,
Yeah.
did I procrastinate a little bit, but I still got my chores done before I did anything else. Most times,
Yeah.
so
I was pretty strict with mine, or my parents were strict where I had to get it done a certain way and it had to be done right and done well. So
yeah.
there are many times I had to redo some shit.
Shiite,
Hmm.
nice, nice.
So, numero tres, Justin, what is it?
Yeah. So for me, I think it's this one's kind of important when it pertains to work or school and good ethic, homework slash reading. Um, when your children need help, right, you should be readily available
Yeah.
or of that nature. Like you should be willing to help your children with their schoolwork, especially as they get older, and things start stumping them. I get like kids in grade school may not need as much because I don't remember how much homework they got. They more or less just kind of come home with little worksheets or whatnot. Don't really see them doing that, and more or less my kids' homework nowadays in grade school is just read for like 15-20 minutes a day. No, they're not coming home with like math work or things like that or word problems or anything. It's just read, read,
Hmm.
read, read, read. I'm like, okay, fine. But
Wow.
try to get them to read to you or read to them, still being able to do something with them in regards to an educational level. Um, because they need to keep up, they need to keep up with it. Yes, school is school, but you as a parent are still responsible for continuing their education outside of school.
It's a good one.
What
I
about you?
wish
Well,
I didn't have to do any math. We got math
eh.
worksheets once a week.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
See, I kind of wish my kids would come home with math worksheets because then I know they're actually getting something and have to do something.
Different school districts.
Exactly.
Mm.
I feel like my kids never come home with homework though.
Maybe they're doing it in class. Maybe that's a good thing.
Mm. Makes it hard to trust them though when I don't see paperwork.
Oh, I know. Well, don't you have teacher conferences?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Well, then they're doing something right. They're not getting Fs.
Yeah, the grading scale is fucked up nowadays,
He's
anyways.
still he's still gonna fucking know. Anyway, while he's stewing in his mistrust, number 3
Yep.
is just kind of relaxing with the kids. Just taking it easy. Just meditate or watch TV, cuddle if you got younger ones, spend that quality time just laying low, I believe is a strong way to connect with your kids.
Now, you just rather have them cuddle. You're not, when you say cuddle, you're talking like they'll lay up against you, kind of head on their
Yeah.
head on your chest or something. Not like I've got a child that likes to climb all over me. Even like I know what he's trying to do, and I appreciate and I take it for value, to a value. But at the same time, I don't necessarily always appreciate it either, because all of a sudden he's like climbing all over me. He's on his tablet or whatever, and it's like, all right, you're going to cause some danger for yourself if you're not careful.
Yeah.
It's like, I need you to get down. Like, I appreciate the cuddling. Don't get me wrong. Like, he'll lay next to me and he'll brush up against me or whatnot, and I'll take that. And that's awesome. But when he's throwing his legs around my neck and trying to climb up on me and sit on my
Yeah, no.
shoulders, it's like, okay, buddy, I love you, but no, you need to get down. So, no, that's a good one. I like that solid one. Solid number 3. All right. What about your number 2? Share me your number 2. We're gonna go back to you
Doing a
because I'm
hobby
playing the.
together,
Haha.
which
We
could
should have.
be a video game or whatever, but
We should have turned this
building a
into a
model
drinking game.
airplane, collecting cars, doing Hot Wheels tracks, painting together.
Nice. I think one
Yep.
of these days we need to turn this into like a drinking game, like a top 5 episode into a drinking game. If any of our top 5s match, we take a drink.
Yeah, we might not be able to record on a Wednesday night, but yeah, we could do that.
That's okay. We don't
I gotta
necessarily have to
work in the
record.
morning. What up?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta
You know
take the
what
kids to
sucks?
school.
You know what sucks? I have to work on Christmas Eve. I only work
That
a
does
half
suck, but
day,
I've been there.
but it's only a half day, but I have to work. So,
Yep.
anyways, the
What's your
reason
number
why I
two?
say talking about every time we sync up or something like that, we need to take a drink is because my number 2 is basically spending time playing or doing some hobby with them. So like kind of knocked it out of the park, doing model airplanes, building Legos, collecting cards, like going to trading card events, things of that nature. Um, you know, just doing something of their interest or include them in something of your interest as well. Because they are taking the time to show that they want to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can return the favor by taking the time to know what they are doing or what they're interested in as well. So it doesn't even have to
Awesome.
be like it doesn't have to be a hobby. It could even be like playing with action figures or something too.
Right.
Like just interacting with them at that point.
Right.
I honestly struggled with this one. Going from number 2 to number 1. I had my number 1 written down first as I was coming up with this list. And I'm like, wait a second, I can't even think of a number 2. I had a 3, 4, and 5, and then I'm like, I don't have a number 2 yet. Where did I go wrong?
Well, it got a solid number 2. Yeah. So.
Yeah, exactly. Solid number 2. We shared the same thing as number 2s. My number 1 here, though, and I think this is very critical. I think you can say this almost relates to number 2, but it's playing sports with them. So kind of getting outdoors or doing something, um, again, of their interest. So like I will interact with my kids when it comes to wrestling. I will work with them, coach them as well, even though I'm not necessarily the greatest coach for wrestling, since I never really wrestled in my life. Um, but if they want to play soccer or football or basketball, I could certainly help them out with those sports, since I have gone into those. I've played those before. Even baseball, I can help them out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like just working with them in relations to their sports that they're interested in. Um, I think that's a huge connection right there, because it allows you to be careful of how I phrase this. Allows you to work with them on their techniques, guiding them, whether you have to help place set them in the right place, help them get an idea when you like. If I say touch, that just sounds bad too. Sometimes
Where are you
you can
going with
help
this?
set them up in their proper posture, and it's just going to help them feel more connected in a way because they know you're next to them. They know you actually care about what they're trying to do and get better. So you just being able to guide them. That's where I'm trying to go. But I was trying to avoid anything that
You're trying to
sounds
be
bad.
PC, and I don't know. I don't think it was something that
Yes.
you need to be PC about. It's parental friendly contact. It's
There are perverts out
a
there,
hug,
okay?
I guess. No, there are. You're right.
There are those people that are always dirty minded and take things so bad nowadays. It's like gotta be careful with how you try to approach it. Especially when people like to take things out of context.
Right.
So that's my number one. In being involved in kids' sports. Helping them via coaching or practicing with them.
Okay.
What about you?
Number one for me is communication. Just gotta talk with them. Seriously. Have a sit down. Have some windshield time, whatever. Have a conversation.
Like it.
Ask them how their day was. Ask them what their future, what they want to do next week or this weekend.
Tell them you love them every day as you
Yeah.
walk out the door, drop them off at whoever, drop them off at school. Be like, hey, I love you. I'll see you after school.
Yeah.
I do that every day
Use
to
your
my boys.
words.
I do that every night too. Even though it's a pain
Yep.
for them to go down to bed at night, I walk out that door and say, I love you. Have a good night. See you in the morning. Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Might not be in the same affliction. It might not be in the same way every night. Like, I love you, but no, sorry. Don't do the I love you, but it's I love you. Good night. We'll have a better day tomorrow.
There you go. Much better way to put it.
Yeah. Don't do the I love you, buts. That's
That
not.
sets up a negative kind of thing,
Yep.
and they're gonna think
Yep.
about it, and it's not. I would say it would never. They'll understand that something's coming up, and then all of a sudden it's like you're putting a condition on why you love them
Yep.
or how you're gonna ruin it. You as a parent should love your child unconditionally. Yeah.
That's it.
Although you talk about communication being key. You talk about communication being key, right? Have you ever been locked out of the house that you actually tried to talk with the door and be like, I know you're so beautiful and everything. Could you please let us in? And then the door unlocks. It's because communication's key. Yeah, no, it's a bad dad joke.
There's a couple dad jokes I've heard recently. I can't
Yeah,
remember them now.
I love it when you lose your keys or forget your keys, and then somebody walks up to the door and starts talking to it, and they say, "Communication's key." It's great. It's great. But yeah, I got nothing else. What about you?
Yeah, nothing. Just
All
same
right.
old, same old. Work, sleep, clean. Work, sleep, clean. Work, sleep, clean.
It's a
Same old,
grind.
same old. Yep.
Sounds like a good grind. But hey,
I guess if you guys want an update, not that anybody gives a shit, but if you
that's
guys
not
want an
true.
update on unlocking jar potential, it is on hiatus until I have the desire, uh, motivation. No, it's not that I'm not motivated. It's just that I don't give a shit anymore. I don't know.
That's
So,
not a good way to go about it.
it's just I've
Need to
hit way too
rethink. Need to
many.
restructure.
Maybe so it's just like I've said all I needed to say, and it didn't go anywhere. So I don't know what else to do.
There you go. Fair enough.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I get where you're coming from. So, but yeah, folks, that's everything for this time with the Leashed Dads here at Leashed Dads Podcast. We see you all next time, and remember, communication is key with your children. Stay connected. We'll see you all next time.